Hey there, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel, Naga Konada's Dev Tips. Today we're going to look at a small example of how we can create a custom tooltip using just the plain old CSS and JavaScript that we all love. This is a part of the Web Basics series that I'm doing. I will have a playlist for this so you can go through them one by one and try to understand the little tweaks and tricks and tutorials that are there in that list and get a good grasp of the web technologies. All right, this particular tutorial is going to be a two-part series, so it's just a couple of videos. We'll get started with the markup and CSS for the tooltip that we are going to build, and then gradually from there we are going to use JavaScript in the subsequent video to hide and show the tooltip. All right, that's about it. Let's get started. So just to let you know, here I have a simple web-based editor called CodePen, and as you can see, we have the three sections that we are going to use to code, and the web page is also loading towards the right. And I have added the font awesome to this as an external resource, just so that we can use some font icons for the tooltip. It's totally up to you. You don't have to use a font icon to show and hide the tooltip, but I thought it would be really cool. All right, so there is nothing else special over here. We're just using the default settings, and of course I'm using CSS pre-processing for my code, but it is totally up to you not to use it and just use the plain old CSS syntax. Okay, let's get started. Okay, in order to save us some time, I have actually coded the markup really simple. I'm gonna get that markup and paste it here. Alright, as you can see, there is a container in which we have an icon and a tooltip text, and this icon div has the actual font awesome icon. And the one we are using here is the FA info circle, which is this solid circle with an eye inside that. And now we're going to actually code the CSS part for now, and then in the next video we're going to go for the JS. All right, so just we have this white background, so the text is right at the top left. So let's try to bring it to the center. So for that, I'm going to go target the body and give margin 0, and I'm going to use Flexbox properties to give it the center alignment. All right, so just from the top, I'm going to use the padding top for now, which will be padding top is going to be 100 pixels. I don't want the tooltip to come to the dead middle of the window. I just want it floating over there. So, and let's bring it to the center of the screen by using justify center, justify content center. All right, so there we go. So we have the tooltip floating right over there. All right, so I'm targeting tooltip, and then the container class there. So I'm targeting this class using this syntax. Okay, so I'm going to give position relative. So we have to mark this container as relative and the inner containers as absolutely positioned. All right, so for coming down, so we have the icon which we have to target, and we'll just provide some style so that it looks pretty. All right, so I'm going to say ampersand icon, and let's say I'm going to give a color of, let's say, a blue. It's a blue, so the code is 4D90FE. And a font size also, because this is a font awesome font. So it's going to, if you want to increase the size of the icon, you have to use font size instead of width and height. And now you can see that blue color and the size also has increased. And that's about it. I mean, all right, so coming down to the actual tooltip. So what we are going to do is, let's give a width to this. I'm going to say, let's say 200 pixels. All right, okay, so you can see, let's come closer. Now let's give position absolute, so that it will not displace any content. All right, so let's for now give a border of 2 pixel solid, the same color as the icon here. So let me just copy over that and then paste it. And then that's what we have. Let me just remove that highlighting. Okay, so that's what we have till now. So let's give a padding of 10 pixel. All right, let's give a font family of CSS. It's up to you, but I'm going to use CSS. Notice the height is increasing based on the contents of the tooltip, which is important. So if I add more text, okay, it's not actually going to float out of the window. It's just the height of the the tooltip is going to increase, which is cool. Okay, so we'll also try to increase the font size, which is 16 pixels. Let's say 16 should be fine. All right, it's already there. So we also have a border radius. Let's give a border radius as well, because it looks cool, of 10 pixels, let's say. All right, it looks fine. Okay, and then we'll have to create a pointing towards the icon, right? So we have to do a little bit of tweaking as far as the position of that one is concerned, because right now you can see both are flush towards the left side of the individual things. So we want this to be at the bottom center, right? So let's try to give a top. Let's say top, because this is absolutely positioned, and left, let's say minus 100 pixel. Okay, that's too much. Let's say 97 pixel. Looking fine, actually. So let's also give a background of white, so that okay, so white is the default, so I don't have to give a background. But let's say we'll give the border box shadow of 0, 0, 5 pixels, 5 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.3. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks too much, so let's reduce the spread and probably increase the shadow blurring. And yeah, that looks fine. That looks fantastic to me. But it's up to you. You can tweak these shadows and the positions as much as you want. I'm going to pause for now for the pop-up, and we want this inverted V kind of icon that we generally see in the pop-ups, right? So it points to the eye icon or whatever text it's pointing to. So that's pretty much important. So how we're going to achieve that is really nice. Actually, we have this pseudo element called colon before, and that's what we're going to use. So for this element to take effect, the most important property here is the content. It has to be there, unless that's there, it's not going to work. All right, so this is also positioned absolute. Okay, by the way, this is semicolon. We're going to give a width for that, which is around 15 pixels, let's say. We'll come back to this later on. Height should be the same, because we want a perfect square for that. And then I'm going to give background color to see where it is exactly. We'll just say blue. Okay, there we go. We see that little small boxy thing. So we're going to do the positioning now. So let's say top of -10 pixels, left of 100 pixels. Let's say these are all random numbers. We can tweak them as and when we want. And the most important thing here is we have to rotate that. So we're going to use transform and rotate in the Z direction for 45 degrees. All right. Okay. So this looks almost fine. We just need to tweak this a little bit. Let's give the left 2 more pixels and then the top -8. All right. That looks fine. Maybe 1 more pixel towards the right. I guess we can remove the background color now. We don't require it anymore. All right. Oh, I think that's a transparent thing, so we have to give background as white, okay, so that it shows up there. And then we have to give a border left and border top. We'll see in a minute why those two are important. Okay, so we're going to give the same border color as the actual tooltip. All right, so we're going to copy this and then say border top. As you can see already, so this is the left and this is the top, right? So since it has rotated 45 degrees, the left side has tilted towards the top left and the top has tilted towards the top right, right? So that's why we go only target these two borders and not the other ones. All right, so let's give top as 10 pixels one more time. That looks fine. And then let's target this and we'll just say bring that down a little bit. All right, so that looks fine. And one more thing is that we have to give the box shadow even for the arrow there, which looks tricky. So we'll just copy the same box shadow because that's what we want. But we see the box shadow is also falling on the box itself, on the tooltip itself. So we have to just tweak these numbers a little bit. So let's bring in the left side and the top side. So with negative numbers, that reduces a little bit. And then let's decrease the blur. Okay, let's give it 3. Okay, 2, 1. I can still see a little bit, so let's give 2. Okay, so that looks fine as of now. Well, that's about it for the CSS and HTML. So we've covered a lot over here. A lot of things related to basic CSS concepts have been covered here. You can see we've used Flexbox, we've used box shadows, we've used borders, we've also used a pseudo element column before. So we've used transform, we've used targeting particular borders, we've used RGBA, which is actually going to give some transparency to the box shadow and all that stuff. We've seen positioning, positioning relative and absolute, and all that good stuff. We've also seen some SAS related syntax here. So, yeah, as you can see, this is all that is related to the CSS part. In the next tutorial, we're going to jump right into the JavaScript part. I am hopeful that that is not going to be as long as this one, hopefully, because there's nothing much to do with the JavaScript. It's just hiding and showing the pop-up. All right, so as you can see, this is the compiled CSS. It is just going to convert whatever we wrote there into simple classes that resemble the classes in the HTML. Just a useful tip there. Okay, see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and do comment in the comment section below so that I will know what you guys are thinking, what you guys want me to do, what tutorials or what tips you want, what kind of tutorials, what kinds of frameworks or concepts that you want me to cover. Just let me know in the comments and I will take a look at that and try to be more helpful in those areas as well. All right, good to have you. Thanks for watching this video and have a great day.